Hello everyone, welcome to Officer 24/7. My name is Niharika Walia Bhatnagar and I'm with you with the area of AFM. Acha, as promised, I had promised you yesterday only that I'll be taking up ratio analysis, at least two classes. So keeping up the promise, I'll be further discussing the topic of ratio analysis today itself as well. From tomorrow onwards, I'll change the particular topic further. So everyone, we did the various kinds of ratios yesterday. There are 4 to 5 kinds of ratios. Do you remember all of them? Okay, let's have a quick recap. The first ratio is called liquidity ratios. The ratios which are related to the area of the working in which we are talking about. Liquidity is about the money that we are giving to the people now, or we are receiving within a year. That is liquidity. Second is solvency, whether in the long term the organization is solvent or not. Liquidity, solvency. Third is liquidity, solvency. Then is market test. Then is profitability. 1, 2, 3, 4, done. Fifth is turnover. And sixth is miscellaneous. These were the 6 types of ratios. One of the most important ones is solvency, turnover, liquidity, and a few of miscellaneous as well. They are normally asked a lot. Market test is not something I'd seen a lot, and not all the ratios are very important for you. Overall, there are 24, 25 formulas for ratios. So yes, there are a lot of things to work upon in terms of ratios. Acha everyone, if you like these sessions, then please go ahead and share it among your peers, and at the same time like it as well. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel, then do the same as early as possible. One more thing, my new AFM batch has just started. It started yesterday itself. Matlab today is the first paid class. So if you are there, then it is starting it is at 7 p.m. Many of you won't be there now. So what you can do is, since we are having this class at 7:30 today, so that means what you can do is you can watch it from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. and this particular video is also available on YouTube as well. So after the completion of the class, you can review it. This batch is at 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. every evening. So what you can do is you can join this particular batch and work upon your AFM properly. As you already know, 35 chapters overall, 35 units are there on almost 628 to 633, total 633 pages are there in the book. So if you are looking forward to enroll yourself in my AFM batch, then please do the needful as early as possible, because any kind of delay would mean that you will have to go through the basic topics on your own or through the recordings. Right now I'm starting with the live batch, so why don't you go through the live batch? The live batch is way better, na? So that's it. So make sure that you are enrolling yourself as early as possible. Now let's move on and start from where we were talking about. Done everyone? Chaliye, then let's begin. The two basic measures of liquidity ratios are. What are the two basic measures of liquidity ratios? Liquidity means how liquid we are in terms of the work. Liquidity is basically related to the area of how much, how frequently can you pay. Matlab, or you can receive. Can you pay or receive within within one particular year, less than 1 year or one operating cycle? If you receive your money, then your work is sorted. If you do not receive the money, then there is a problem. Okay, right? So for example, I won't wait for a good amount of time when I have to receive money from the debtors, isn't it? If I'm supposed to receive money from the debtors, then it should be within that one particular year itself. Now, if the debtors are paying by more than 1 year, it is such a big problem for you and me. Why? Because if these people are going to take so much of time, then what's the fun? For a business, it is actually a troublesome situation, isn't it? That it will take so much time to receive the money, so liquidity gets affected. The cash in hand which they will be having. Then, so liquidity ratios are these ratios. So among these, what is the ratio that they're talking about? In this area, how do we specify? Liquidity ratios are basically inventory and current. No, inventory is a turnover ratio. Inventory turnover ratio means that is to the sales that you are making in the business. Then we have current ratio and quick ratio. Current ratio and quick ratio both are liquidity ratios, so I think this would be the answer. Next is gross profit and operating profit ratio. Operating profit and gross profit are profitability ratios, and current and average collection period. Average collection period is also a part of turnover ratios. Only current ratio is the one. So in this case, the correct answer is actually B, everyone, as B is current ratio and quick ratio. So the correct answer is B. The answer is B. Done. So that is current ratio and quick ratio. The excess of current ratio is also treated as a sign of managerial efficiency, inefficiency, or none of the above. Excess of current ratio matlab we are having too much money in our cash form. But the problem is that if you have too much money in your cash form, why are you having so much of money in your cash form? You are not getting any returns out of it. If you would have given this money to someone else, maybe you would have received a good amount of money, but you didn't. What are you doing with this money? You are keeping it in your business itself. And slowly, slowly, this loss is basically borne by you, and what will happen? It will scrap off all the savings of that business. Over the period of time, when he keeps on hiding those things, things can become manifold. So when we talk about the area of debts and equities, now it is very, very important that whatever cash we already have, uh, we do not devalue that part. We should spend money on all these things very, very carefully so that the returns are definitely something that we can look upon. So in this case, it is talking about the inefficiency. You could have used specific money for the business, but where they are using it in order to look forward towards the inefficient areas. This money is not used in the business at all. This is basically something which is just idle. It is there in the cash form and you are not making any money out of it, which is definitely not useful. So the answer is inefficiency, everyone. Done. Now comes the next point, inventory turnover ratio, or inventory ratio is the relationship of. It's an important turnover ratio. Everybody? Inventory ratios is basically the ratio of your cost of goods sold upon your average stock. This is basically defined as the opening and closing of this part. है ना? Technically, inventory turnover ratio is that specific ratio in which we would be looking forward towards inventories in such a way that the organization head would be looking forward towards the person who has helped, and then they would be asking the address and everything. When we talk about the area of inventory turnover ratio, inventory turnover ratio talks about whatever finished goods that you are preparing, starting from raw material to finished good. How did we go through it? The cost of goods sold and cost of average inventory, cost of goods purchased and cost of average inventory, cost of goods sold and average cost of average inventory and shield, and the cost of goods purchased and Cost of average inventory. Now this is, as I told you, it is COGS upon average stock. That means we would like to know how much of our stock is left by the end of the day, and opening and closing stock is basically taken as a mean there, and then we compare it with the goods that we have purchased and we have sold. That is cost of goods sold divided by cost of average inventory. Acha everyone, here comes a numerical question. The numerical question says that the cost of liquid assets are 5 lakh rupees and its current liabilities are of 3 lakh rupees. Thereafter, it paid rupees 1 lakh to the trade payable. Quick ratio will be what? Everybody, what would be the value of quick ratio? Okay, quick ratio is also known as acid test ratio. When we talk about quick ratio or acid test ratio, this is quick assets upon current liabilities. Quick assets are those assets which are simply something which can be converted into liquidity within no time. It includes all the current assets except two things. First is your inventory and your prepaid expenses. So this particular area does not include, because inventory takes a lot of time. It is not sold within a day, so there is no point of fighting over it. And when we talk about the prepaid expenses, same thing goes with the prepaid expense. If I paid for my land, if I paid for a particular, I paid for my phone. I have a prepaid. I have a prepaid SIM. The moment I get a prepaid SIM, what will happen? The value of the prepaid SIM would be noted. है ना? Prepaid SIM would be, maybe I got a particular plan for 600 rupees and that's for 3 months. So for 3 months I've paid in advance. Can I go to Reliance and can I go to Jio and say that, sir, can you give me the money for 2 months back? I just wanted to pay for 1 month and the rest I was thinking to close down. Will they do anything? No. They will not give you the money back. So prepaid expenses once paid, that you won't get that money back. So technically you will have quick assets divided by current liabilities. So can we do this in this area? We have liquid assets as rupees 5 lakh. Then we have 3 lakh. And thereafter it paid 1 lakh to the trade payables. That means if we have paid, so 1 lakh from the cash is gone. Then when we talk about the current liabilities, the creditors are also lessened. In this area, it turns out to be 4 lakh divided by 2 lakh. It turns out to be 2:1. है ना? Can you see the 3 lakh? See, from the quick assets, you are paying the cash. And this is what your trade payables are. The trade payables are paid off. है ना? Technically, the value will turn out to be 2:1. It is actually getting better. Always remember, if you have a lot of liquid assets, that means you are not being wise. Why are you keeping so much of money? Keeping such a big amount of money is not sensible at all, right? This much amount of money, when kept in the business, in the flow of cash, there is no return of it. The money which is kept in a which is kept basically kept in boxes, and which is kept in lockers, will not multiply. The money which is rotating in the market will multiply, right? The dash may indicate that the firm is experiencing stockouts and lost sales. But the company's average payment period, inventory turnover ratio, average collection period, or quick ratio. Which particular ratio among the following states that, everyone? The ratio which talks about the area of the stockouts as well as the lost sales. Average payment talks about the money that you are paying to the creditors. Average collection is the money that you receive from the debtors. So this is related to the creditors. This is related to the debtors. So in this case, the correct answer is inventory turnover ratio. Under inventory turnover ratio, that is the movement of inventory. So if we have a lot of movement in inventory and it is being stock out and all, then it means that our inventory is being sold at a very high pace and we are falling short in terms of predicting the future of our product. Stockouts will create a negative point for the organization, that whenever you go to the organization, there things are always stock out, which is not good for the organization. At one point of time, it can show it to the people that maybe the organization is so good that it gets stock out, but at the same time they can see that the organization is fake because there should not be a stock out, and but they are still showing. This can be both the ways for the organization. Again, when you are trying any tactic in terms of the finances, now sometimes it can go positive and sometimes it can go negative, but there is no point where it would be the same. Dash are specially interested, I'm sorry, in the average payment period, since it provides them with the sense of bill paying patterns of the firm: customer, stockholder, lenders, and suppliers, and last is borrowers and buyers. When we are talking about this, the average payment period, everyone, the average payment period, since it provides them the sense of bill paying pattern. Acha everyone, when we are talking about average payment period is the amount by which the payment is made to the uh, billing patterns, na? Yes, the amount which is paid to the creditors, to the lenders overall. So basically, this is related to that area. But when we talk about the average payment period in terms of with a sense of bill paying, the bills are normally paid to the lenders and suppliers only, creditors only, na? We receive money from the debtors and we pay money to the creditors. Simple reason, payment is to be received from the debtor and the creditor is always on the credit side. Done. Next question. Which ratio is not a part of solvency ratio, everyone? Current debt to equity, total asset to debt ratio, or proprietary ratio? What will be the answer, everyone? What is the which is not a part of solvency ratio? Solvency ratio talks about the money which is paid, which can be easily paid. We have money to pay it off. The answer would be current ratio. Current ratio is liquidity ratio. The answer is liquidity ratio. This ratio is liquidity. Rest everything qualifies for solvency. So in this case, solvency talks about if you had been asked to give me a certain amount of money, can you pay me that specific amount of money or not? If you are supposed to pay 10 lakh and you are able to pay me 10 lakh within 3 months as per your promise, then what will happen? You would be respected. And if you do not do that, then you would be then the organization will have to specify, na? Solvency is all about whether you can pay off your loans in a proper way or not. Then you have the total assets, total liabilities, current liabilities, and total assets to debt. They have asked your total assets to debt ratio. What would be the answer of total assets, everyone? What would be the answer, everyone? Total assets is 7,70,000. What would be the answer? What would be the answer, everyone? Total assets divided by debt, na? Debt is only the total debt or long-term debt? It would be total long-term debt only. The short terms aren't its responsibility. What would be the answer? In this case, the total liabilities are given. The total liabilities are of 2,60,000, everyone. Let's look at this. 2,60,000 is the total liability. From the total, you remove the short term. Short term is of 40,000. So what are you left with? 2,20,000, which is pure long term. है ना? Because the short term are removed, this is your pure long term. And now divide the entire salary there, that is the entire total borrowers and anything else that we're looking forward to, then it would be 35, this amount of 7,70,000 would be taken now. Let's see. 7,70,000 is the total assets, and our debt is only the long term. है ना? Or no short term involved. This is 2,20,000. So this has to be 11 sevens are 77 and 11 twos are 22. That made us in this area. It turns out to be 3.5 is to 1. Why, everyone? It is 7 lakh. It is 7 lakh 70,000 divided by 2 lakh 20,000. So based upon this, the answer is 3 is to 3.5 is to 1. What would be the answer? The answer is 3.5 is to 1. Everybody got the idea? Whenever we are calculating these now, always remember total. This was total asset to debt ratio. Total asset to debt ratio. You don't have to learn the ratio, the fun part, because the ratio is already specified. Let me show you again, everyone. In this case, the debt includes both long term plus short term. The total liabilities are 2,60,000, out of which the short term are 40,000. So can we calculate the long term, everyone? The long term will be 2,60,000 minus 40,000 is equal to 2,20,000. Once you have got this 2,20,000, then utilize this 7,70,000 divided by 2,20,000, giving you an amount of 7,70,000. That is 7,70,000 divided by 2,20,000, giving you 3.5 is to 1. Let's go for another question. The following groups of ratios primarily measure risk. Among the following, which measures the risk, everyone? Liquidity, profitability, activity, liquidity, activity, common stock, liquidity, activity, debt, and liquidity, debt, and profitability. Measures risk. It is debt is very risky. Profitability, if we are not making good profit, then there's a very good amount of pressure on our heads. And then we have activity. Activity talks about how active we are in terms of our working. So that's it for the day, everyone. Before I end my session, I hope you have already enrolled in the classes. If you haven't, then please go ahead and enroll yourself, because the batch is starting from today itself. You will get enough time to study properly, otherwise you will face problems. Why to wait for that longer period to prepare properly, na? Ki you should not leave it at the end. It is way better that you decide today and then you work accordingly. Acha, now let me show you our website so that you can go there and you can study accordingly. This is our website, everyone, www.adda247.com. Go on to the website, then check it out. There you have this area of JIB and CIB. Click on the area of JIB and CIB. Click on the area of the JIB May 2024. Here you will find our resolution and Shapath batches. Both the batches are out. You can look. You can see both the batches are here itself. What you can do is you just have to click on the area of buy now. Use the code Y541 and you will get a discount of 78%. How do we get it, everyone? Click on the area of buy now. Use the code Y541 and apply it. You will get a discount of 70 overall 79% discount is still going on, so you will get it at 4199.79. So this is a good option. If you are using our app, then you will get for 80%. So I think 80% discount is a good option that you can take up. So hurry up and check it out on our website and our app for further details. Do not wait for a longer period, because the longer you wait, ultimately what will happen is the preparation time would be less. So it's better that we become wise towards our studies and start working right away. So that's it for the day, everyone. I'll be meeting you in the next class. Thank you so much.